Hello everyone, I'm Wed, and I'm the host of Children's GBC Max. It's my first day here at Children's GBC Max. So, what is Children's GBC Max? What is Children's GBC Max, you may ask? Well, Children's GBC Max is a channel where you can find all the good programs, even for meals as Peppa Pig, Hey Ducky, 64 Zoolaine, and even a Super Mario Bros. Super Soul. Yep. I'm so excited to be here at Children's GBC Max today. So, we got lots of great programs for you today. So, the first program is going to be Gumdrop, and today, Mr. Oldcastle might find some secret switches. But what do the secret switches do? Well, you'll find out in this episode of Gumdrop. Enjoy!
Mr. Josiah Oldcastle had a blue vintage car. Flying, Gumdrop was well content to remain firmly on the ground.
And that was Gumdrop. Yeah. Mr. Oldcastle was having a dream. Yeah. About secret switches. Yeah. They weren't real though. They weren't really real. Yeah. So the next program now is a premiere. It's called Peppa Pig. And today, Peppa's gonna be jumping in muddy puddles. Guys, you know, that was the very first episode of Peppa Pig. And we're airing it right now. So here's Peppa Pig, everyone. Enjoy!
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig. Peppa Pig. Muddy puddles.
It is raining today, so Peppa and George cannot play outside.
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig.
And that was Peppa Pig. Yup. And I'm so glad that Peppa and George had so much fun jumping up and down in muddy puddles. And the funniest bit, when Peppa and George had so much fun about jumping in muddy puddles, they forgot they were so dirty. Ha ha! That was so funny. So anyways, moving on from the pig family house and over to the big town now to see Brum, the little motor car. And today it's called Brum the helicopter. You know, the lollipop lady got stuck on a building by accident. So, will Brum be able to save her? You have to find out in this episode. And by the way, how did the lollipop lady get stuck on a building like that?
Brum.
And that was Blum. Yeah. And I'm so glad that the lollipop lady is safe on the ground. And Blum is on a helicopter. Yeah. So much for him. I mean, her. So anyways, the next program is another premiere. And it's Hey Dougie. And today, it's a rainy day outside. So the Dougie and the squirrels might do some drawing. Ooh.
Norrie! Isn't it time for...
Dougie!
And that was Hey Dougie. Yeah. And I'm so glad the squirrels did some drawing. And they even did a drawing of Dougie. Yeah. Dougie hug, yeah. So the next program now is gonna be Gran. Made by the same creators of Postman Pat. Woodland Animations, you know. And today's episode is called Gran's Gadgets.
Hello, Gran, how are you? How'd you feel today? I just came by to see if I could be of help in any way. I always like to come and spend my time with you. We somehow seem to think of something great to do. You really are the most, I think that I can boast. You really are the most surprising, Gran.
Tea from the tea maker. Come on, it's tea time.
And that was Gran. Yep, and I'm so glad that Gran's gadgets worked perfectly well. Yeah. So, away from our new program, Gran, or old program I mean, Gran, and over to a premiere of 64 Zoo Lane. I wonder what today's story is called.
64, 64, 64 Zulu. 64, 64, 64 Zulu.
Hello, I'm Lucy. I live at 64 Zoo Lane and I have some very special neighbours. Look!
There's one with a hump, and one who can jump, and one who is, well, a little bit bland.
64, 64, 64 Zulu.
Some like it hot, and some like it cheap, and some like it both ways, and that's a bit silly.
64, 64, 64 Zulu. 64, 64 Zulu. 64, 64 Zulu.
And that was 64 Zoo Lane. Yup. And today's story was all about an elephant whose name was Nelson the elephant. Nelson the elephant. Yup. He still was a big, nice elephant, if you ask me. Okay. Moving on from 64 Zoo Lane and on to Soto now in Soto Railway Tales. And today's book, Very Old Engines. This is book 20. Book 20 of the Railway series. And today's story is called Stick in the Mud. Stick in the Mud. Oh my god, that is so funny. And anyways, Enjoy the episode. Ha ha!
Stick in the mud. The manager was as good as his word.
And that was Soda Willy Tales. Yeah. Now I see why it's called Stick in the Mud. Because it's all mud. When Linnaeus got covered in mud. Whatever engine got covered in mud, but still. Oh my god, that is so funny. Now, moving on from Sodor, the island of Sodor, and on to Mobius to see Sonic the Hedgehog. And today, it's a super secret search and rescue Sonic Squad. Whatever it is. By the way, this is the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Enjoy the show!
One person's dumb joke could be another person's disaster.
That was Sonic the Hedgehog. Yep. It was a Sonic Says about 911. Jeez Louise. Well, that's all the programs I've got this morning. But don't you worry, guys. I'll be back on Children's GBC Max for more programs on Friday. Make sure you stay tuned for that. See ya, guys. Got a juice. As Sonic says, hee. Bye-bye.